Hello, welcome to the highest meaning of life. Dear friends, today our topic is the ultimate truth about human soul, about life force, the life force of man. So, there are many questions regarding this topic, and every philosopher, even in the East or West, has given a different perspective on the human soul. Now, what if we know the ultimate truth about the human life force or the moksha and its vikas in the context in this nature only or within the nature? If we solve this issue within the nature rather than outside, what if the human soul is not the part of God? What if human soul is not immortal? What if human soul is the part of change, under the law of change, the law of life and death? What if the human soul is the doer? What if the soul is the another name of life, like the plant and animals? So there are many questions raised by the different philosophers. Today we want to see the perspective of Devatma in this context about the human soul. According to Devatma, the human soul is an evolved and organized living force that comprises several forces. So, he is given the definition in Devasastra 3, volume 3, the organized life force which comprises different powers which inhabit the human living body is called the soul or human life force. Now, let us see the brief summary in this context regarding the human soul or the human life force. According to Devatma, the human soul is a part of nature. First of all, it is not outside the nature. If any philosopher thinks the human soul is a part of outside the nature or it is not the part of nature, Devatma completely reject this idea. So, the human soul is a part of nature. The human personality is a soul body organism and its soul is as much the part of nature as its body is. Next point, which is very important, the human soul has its origin in the biological history of the earth. It is neither uncreated nor created, but evolved in the process of evolution. A human soul is born as a result of the union of sperm and the ovum of the parents. It is unique, emergent entity unknown to the previous history of excellence. So, there is no transmigration, no rebirth. So, before our life without the parent cell, we had no any soul or life force. So, life has created with the sperm and ovum of the parents, according to Devatma school of thought. So, the constructive power of the human soul can construct a body peculiar to its own species. It cannot take the form of a goat or a cow or any other particular animals in future life also. So, in brief we can say the human soul, like any other life force, is functionally related to its body as its builder, its maintainer, sustainer and repairer. If the human soul is so functionally related to its body, it cannot leave it by any yogic exercise and return to it. The highest powers of the human soul or the human life force its power to discover and understand the truth, goodness and beauty. Or we can say to discover and understand truth, to appreciate and create beauty, and to build institutions of justice and welfare are as much evolved as the motor and sensory function of the animal soul have evolved. So, in the brief we can say that the human life force has many forces, maybe mental powers, our feelings they have many kinds, low, medium and higher. So, we will explain in the future all these different forces. So, today just we have to see the human soul in the perspective of the evolutionary process, or in evolutionary and biological level. So, Devatma define simple words. So, human soul is an organized life force and it has its origin in the animal kingdom. It has evolved from the mammals and show the characteristics of the life force in them. It builds the peculiar human body as the life force is a life force in a cow constructs the peculiar body of a cow, or different animals build the peculiar body of that kind of the species. So, the main point which is lacking in East and West philosophy, the human soul is the doer. So, according to Devatma, it is essentially a doer, means the human soul is the only doer. It is not only constructs the human body, but also maintains, sustains and repair itself and reproduces new individuals of its species within the proactive powers integral to it. So, Devatma thinks the human soul can meet to death as well. So, what are those factors? The constructive power of the human soul is central to its existence. If it destroyed, the human soul is also destroyed. So, constructive power is very important. If the human soul loses the constructive power to preserve the body, the gross or subtle, however, it meets death. The soul has no life apart from the human body, so its biological power are intrinsic to it. So, means the soul and body, they have an intimate relation between each other. Without soul or without body, there is no question. So, soul and body can't live without each other. So, the most important point in the philosophy of Devatma is the attraction of pleasures, means happiness, and aversions to pain deviates the drive behavior to augment pleasure and reduce pain, irrespective of the health of the body. So, when a human soul develops ego consciousness, he experiences certain needs connected with it, such as praise, honor, a name and fame, selfishness, etc. in the character. So, these deviations are untruth and evil in character. So, the next point is very important as well, because the human life force is not complete yet, as we have body organs evolved. So, what are the reasons? The reason is the human life force needs some particular altruistic feeling which is lacking in the life force. So, according to Devatma, there are some human beings only in whom the altruistic feeling of reverence or respect and gratitude and compassion and feeling of justice, etc. are present, but most of the people they don't have. So, without these higher values, human life force is not complete or evolved yet. So, we have some aesthetic feelings as well, included we can say the sense of beauty, linguistic sense, sense of music and sense of order and cleanliness. So, all these feelings are part of our soul, mental powers. So, this aesthetic senses, feelings, higher feelings or altruistic feelings. So again we will explain in detail all these sections in the future. So today just we'll see what we learn about the human soul and what's the definition and just the brief summary regarding these powers. Now the question is, if we want to know the detailed summary or the detailed history of the human soul or the soul of we can say the science of the human life force. So Devatma mentioned everything in detail in his scripture Dev Sastra 3rd, which is the science of soul. So if we want to know everything in detail, especially the reason of the emergence of Devatma and why the most deplorable ignorance about the human soul, so and how we can cure it. So knowing the human soul or knowing the just life force the man is not only enough. So Devatma says how to cure, how to come out of the negativity or how to come out of the low loves and low hates. This is also very important topic in our existence, in our day to day activities. So the way the laser rays cure the human organs or human body, same way Devatma evolved certain forces which can cure the human life force, which can cure the soul of the man. So what are these forces? These forces are complete love of truth, goodness and beauty, and with these forces human, even the altruistic man, can cure the lacking of the evolved life force or lacking the constructive power of the soul. So we need the help of Devatma in this context. So because in the human life force we have many problems, especially many low loves are there related to our ego, related to our affection of children, related to our love of money and property, related to our false beliefs, related to many other bondages, etc. So in the future we will see everything in detail, what are those forces evolved yet in the human personality and how to cure, how to come out of that level, about these bondages and how to get salvation from this negative attitude and how to develop the altruistic feelings. After the altruistic feelings, how we can cure even the altruistic feelings, as we know they have the blind spots. So in future we'll see everything in detail. Thank you very much guys. Thanks a lot.